even for me, this podcast is an opportunity and
Sure,
it's
sure.
super out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I love it.
Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hossman, and joining me today is a first-time rock star. So excited to have her on the show. She's a co-founder of Garnet Social, Giulia Marinescu. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. And if you don't know, as we're recording this, it's late for Giulia, so she's been kind enough to stick around and stay up late to have this conversation. So, being in business, and we were talking about before we started recording, you've been in business for a little bit. So I wanted to ask you, what are some things that you struggle with, or maybe you have struggled with in the past, and how have you worked to overcome them?
Yeah, so I work in social media marketing.
Hmm.
I started back in 2016. So
Hmm.
back then it was not very crowded, and I didn't really understood the impact it has on businesses. I think it's super important to be present where people are, where attention is. Most people are on their social media, right?
Hmm.
They scroll through Facebook and Instagram. So I think it's super important to be present.
Hmm.
And I think that's at the beginning, I just did it for fun and because um, we started our own business based on social media.
Hmm.
So we started our business in 2016, which is a fast food store.
Hmm.
We launched first in social media and
Yeah.
then in real life. And it was success since day one because people already were introduced to our business. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's important to be present in social media with your businesses because it creates endless opportunities.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. So
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're working with clients and different things like that. So what tips are you giving for for growing, whether it's through social media or wherever, for both personally and professionally? What are some tips you give people?
I think the tips I can give, which are my own tips, is
Hmm.
just to take opportunities and leverage everything. Just move from your comfort zone. It's comfort, fear,
Hmm.
learning, and then it's the growth. Just use everything to your maximum advantages, whether it's time, energy, money, resources, network. It's good to take opportunities. Like even for me, this podcast is an opportunity and it's
Sure,
super
sure.
out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I love it. And I think you always have to keep educating yourself and learn new things and never stop learning in every industry, right? Not
Mm,
just marketing, but in digital marketing it's crucial to learn and be at the top of your game, right? Because it's an
mhm.
industry with that it always changes and
For sure.
evolving and different trends. So yeah, you have to stay relevant and the top of your game. So yeah, that's challenging.
Yeah, and I tell you what,
So
I agree, Julia, that one of the things that you said there when you talked about the idea of being willing to put yourself out of your comfort zone, because I think
yeah,
everybody who starts in social or creating content of any kind, it feels awkward at first, and you have to
it
sort of
is.
give yourself permission to fail on a few things in order to succeed, I think. And so I think that's great advice. So good stuff. So
Yeah, it's
go
basically
ahead.
exposing yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
being vulnerable and but yeah, that's how you grow. So I
Yeah,
think that's super good thing to do. So yeah.
cool. All right. So who has been your best teacher or mentor, and what was maybe a lesson that they taught you that has stuck with you?
You know what I think it's amazing about social media is that regular people can have such an impact
Yeah,
in your learning curve, right?
yeah.
Because like ordinary people can just like choose one topic and then become a master of it.
Hmm.
And like you can see like different Instagram accounts of people that like maybe they're into advertising or selling or um like giving business tips.
Yep.
So I think it's amazing the era we're in. Like everybody can be an influence and everybody can be your mentor online, right? You just
Yep.
have to make sure to filter the information because of course there are many scams. But yeah, I think it's good to specialize in a niche or domain and be super good in it. But yeah, like big names, I can say Chris too. I love his business tips on clarity and the cost of your business and profits. I like Neil Patel, the School of Marketing.
Yep.
He's very innovative guy, and also for his simplicity. And of course, Seth Godin for marketing tips. And from Chris Do, I like a quote that says, "Marketing made simple. Win people's hearts and minds, and they will be fans for life. So you have to serve first, and they'll sell later."
Oh man, I love that. That's great, and I'm a big fan of Seth Godin as well. So those are some
Oh,
great folks to follow. Agreed, totally on that. So, all right, final question. You're
yeah.
doing great. So final question is, what are some mistakes that you see organizations make when telling their story, like through social media, and how can they fix them?
Yeah, I think the first mistake I see in many accounts is the fact that they're focusing on themselves. So on their business and our products, and this is us, and this is how great our product is, but they're not like focusing on their target audience, on their customers, real problems and needs. Then the second is the fact that not very clear and consistent with their brand. So I think mastering storytelling is an art that not everybody does it right.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be super consistent with your branding, with your story, because marketing, it's I mean you can change it. You can change your strategy, you can change, like, even you can do a rebrand, right? You can rebrand your logo, but you have to be consistent with what people perceive of you, right? Who are you as a brand, as your reputation, your values, your culture? This should be the same. So yeah, over time, people should know when I'm thinking about a big brand, this is what it means, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's the second big mistake that I see. And the third one is people forget it's social media.
Okay.
So it's not an advertising platform. So it's not Google Ads.
Yes.
It's social media. So people don't go on Facebook and Instagram and think, okay, what I'm going to buy today or what ads I'm going to see, right? You go on social media because you want to connect, you want to see your friends, you want to be inspired, you want to get maybe a lot of value, a lot of information. So I think people should adapt to that, should really see that behind those screens there are human beings and we are emotional.
Yeah.
So you should match your strategy and your marketing and your social media likewise. Like you should take into consideration that you are advertising to human beings. So I think that's the most important thing to realize. It's social media, it's not advertising platform. And yeah, you should strive to nurture a relationship with your target audience and nurture them and build a rapport that they're gonna be like your fans forever.
Yeah.
So
Boy,
yeah,
that's
it's
great.
amazing.
That is great advice, Julie, and I love it. And I know that you're doing it, right? Like we talked about
Yeah.
before that we jumped on here. When the reason that you sort of understood the power of it is because you did it for your own business, and I think sometimes that's the best
Yes.
way to learn. So that's really good stuff, and I really appreciate you taking the time. We'll have to do it again sometime,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, of course. Thank
Cool.
you for
Well,
the opportunity.
you bet. You bet. Well, thanks for staying up late. And that
Yeah.
is going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.
Marketing.